This that rich genius effect.
I already know.
Yeah, this that rich genius effect.
Favorite podcaster
Yeah.
slash rapper and your favorite producer.
Yeah. This your boy Rich Notch, and this is the Rich Genius Show, one half of the Rich Genius Show. Tall Genius couldn't make it today, but we got a special guest with us in the studio, Smoothe da Hustler. Thank you for coming out here, bro.
All right,
You know what I mean? Underground hip hop legend, you know what I mean?
Appreciate it. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Glad to have you, man. Grew up listening to your music, you know what I mean? I always tell my listeners, everybody always know, I always talk about how, to me, 96 was one of the greatest years in hip hop, album-wise. You know what I mean? And I know the album dropped Once Upon a Time was 96, correct?
Yeah.
So it was so many great albums that dropped that year. So some albums actually even got kind of like overlooked or fell under the radar, but they was super dope and classic, know what I mean? And I feel this is one of the albums that's not talked about enough. I honestly feel that, know what I mean?
Appreciate it, man. Yeah. I mean, you know, I definitely hear that a lot, and I totally understand it. During that time, we was independent. We had came strictly independent. Everything that we had built up to that point was like our sweat and tears versus, you know, everybody else who was on the labels. So we was actually competing with the label status. They was kicking out money for airplay and video play and spins and all that, and we was actually like working the record physically everywhere, being everywhere at any point to promote the record. So the streets pretty much put us, you know, in that bracket, which we was very grateful for.
Yeah, it was heavy in the streets, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Salute to my man DJ Majesty. He used to give me and my sister, because we was too young, so he had all the tapes and everything. So he would lend us the tapes because we couldn't go buy everything because parental advisory, whatever, certain stores. And he lent that tape to us. And back then I was hooked to it, you know what I mean? I was like, first of all, it was a classic, coming from a classic movie, the title of the album.
Appreciate it.
Know what I mean? Who came up with that idea for the title?
It was a collective thing. I was in the mind frame of just like hustling records. That was the direction. And then at the end, once we had the songs and stuff together, we just started playing with a lot of that movie. We was playing a lot of the skits, like playing around with the skits, trying to see what we was going to use. And then I was like, damn, Once Upon a Time in America, this is a story. Like, you know, I'm from Brooklyn. Well, I don't say America, but out of the country, I say America, right?
Yeah.
But I'm Brooklyn. But I just thought it would be effective outside of America. You know what I mean? Like, Once Upon a Time in America, let the people around the world hear the story. Not excluding America, but being that I'm in America, offer it to the masses. You know what I mean? Internationally. So yeah.
And a lot of stuff from the album still resonates right now. It came out in 96. A lot of stuff you were saying, far as, you know, the street stuff still resonates right now. Like, a lot of people could still relate to it, which is dope. You know what I mean?
Indeed. I think when you pull from just experience in life, it just repeats itself. You know what I mean? It wasn't nothing filtered or watered down. It was just all whatever I wanted to do and say. And it was just being my genuine self. I just tried to capture what I was involved in and what I was living and what my environment was, and just kind of be a narrator. So I believe, you know, again, it's just life. So, you know, it recycles itself.
All right, it's definitely a story from Brooklyn, from Brownsville, you know what I mean, Saratoga, all that.
Indeed.
You know what I
Shouts
mean?
to the Ave,
Yeah,
shouts
salute
to the
Brownsville,
Ave, shouts
BK.
to Brownsville, yeah. Shouts to everybody, all the neighbors, you know, East New York, you know, Crown Heights and all that, but definitely Brownsville.
No doubt. It's funny because I'm from Far Rock, so I heard growing up, a lot of times when I say I'm from Queens, a lot of people told me that was from Brooklyn. They was like, Far Rock is like the Brownsville of Queens.
Oh, yeah,
Because
definitely.
they don't even consider Far Rockaway Queens.
I mean, they at the end, y'all. I mean, you know,
we not really
they got
considered
the
Queens.
beach, they got the beach, and they got the peas, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, you know, it's kind of, you know, it ain't segregated, but to a degree it's segregated.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fucking wild. I used to go out there back in the days. We was used to dance. We used to be called the guest riders, right? Shout outs to all of
Okay.
everybody who used to dance back in the days and shit. But we was doing a lot of hip hop shit, and we would go out there to like a lot of the competitions that ended up in Far Rock. And I'm like, damn, that Trek coming back home. One or two of us had a pistol, but it was definitely real out there. Definitely real out there. So shouts to Far Rock.
Yeah,
But
shout out to Far Rockaway. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, listening to the album, like I said, I just want to reflect on the album one more time. The tracks with you and your brother with Trigger, know what I mean, are super dope. That's some of my favorite tracks on it. Fuck What You Heard. Of course, Broken Language. My Brother's My Ace. That's another dope one. Broken Language, I said it before. I'm not just saying it because he's here. I said it years ago before I even thought about ever sitting down with you face to face. I always said that's one of the hardest hip-hop songs of all time. If you do a top 20 greatest hip-hop songs of all time, you have to put that on the list. Because I never heard nothing like that really since. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The beat, the way y'all went back and forth, the way y'all did the whole like the bent razor, the red, like it was just crazy creative and unique. Now I mean, I really never heard nothing since like that. But I definitely heard people go back and forth. I don't know if y'all was the first to do it, but y'all definitely was one of the best at that.
We definitely wasn't the first, but as far as momentum and just being totally left field and original, we definitely accept that. You know what I'm saying? And again, when we recorded it, we knew, I mean, you know, we was in the storm. We knew like, oh, this shit is just going to just turn heads instantly. And then, you know, it fortunately came out. We got it out. And the DJs flipped the B-side and boom, you know what I mean? But yeah, love to everybody who play it, who blasted, who, you know, pick it apart. You know what? It's crazy because nowadays the younger generation, they be picking apart shit. I seen my man sent me like a clip where they was like reviewing my shit. It was like a dad and his son.
Oh, I be seeing that joint too. Yeah, dope.
It was cool. It was cool to watch. I don't really be into myself or none of that shit, but it was cool to watch and just get the response. And the dad was telling this kid like, "Yo, this." And I was like, okay, all right. But it's just cool. It's cool to watch. But yeah, man, it had a big impact, man. We was around the world with that record. Everywhere it just hit.
What was y'all mindset when y'all was making it? Like, where was y'all at? Like, who came up with that idea to even do it like that?
We was rapping in the hallway like that. I always say that. We was rapping in the hallway like that, just freestyling. Just mind you, my building was like the hub for all of the rappers. All of the rappers came through and hung out in my hallway, right? Okay. And it wasn't no, you know, just a little small hallway, but it had a wall, had echo, and Christ was he was amazing. This fucking guy was like the Dr. Dre of the wall or some shit.
Salute to Christ, I met him.
Yeah. And what was crazy about him too, he'd be harmonized and some shit. Like he was just an NPC, a human NPC. But we will all be getting it in the hall. You know what I'm saying? And when I got the beat, I left. It was just a regular boom, 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 boom. No changes, none of that stuff. And then Trig came home, and he had stopped to see DR, and D gave him a copy of the beat. So when he came home, we was just back and forth with it. Go ahead, say some shit. And then once he let loose with the so-and-so, I was like, let's just go all the way with this shit. Like, no hook, let's just go. So we was just in the crib, like, he'd come out and say some shit, and I go, oh, all right, you know what? I'm going to pick it up from right there, and I disappear, and then I come back and kick some shit to him, and he'd be like, oh. But, you know, it was just like brotherly competitive shit. Yeah. But it was definitely me testing how hard he was going to go because, mind you, I was recording the records, and they would occasionally stop in. You know, we were still in the street doing a bunch of other crazy shit. So they would occasionally stop. Back then, wanting to be a rapper wasn't as cool as, you know, the shit just sounded like, you wasting your time. You know what I mean? So it wasn't cool. I remember when I was saying I was Smoothe the Hustler, right? And it was like, that shit don't sound right. How you gonna market that shit? Like, how you gonna sell that? Like, even the records I was bringing, it was like, nah, this shit don't. And it was some of the hardest labels. Nah, this shit ain't hard. But meanwhile, you know, the counterparts who was either being signed or looked at, or you know, I was having my hand in they shit too, quietly. So it was just validation for me. I'm like, all right, fuck that. You know, they ain't gonna believe in our shit. I had a cool team who was gung ho, and everybody was like, let's just do it ourselves. So, boom.
It worked out, 'cause that's a classic. You said DR Period did that beat?
DR Period did
Salute to DR Period.
99% of the production. My man Kenny G did, God bless him. My man Kenny G did Glocks on Cop. But I mean, it was
classic.
effortless though. You know what I mean? It was a space that I can go to and just kind of unwind and just do whatever I wanted to do, and he facilitated that. Hear ideas and just get on his shit. He was on the spot, and that's why I think I work best at, you know, just with a motherfucker who understand emotion and you know, because he was pulling all of the shit out of me that I really wanted to emphasize. He was complimenting me with,
He knew what you
with
wanted
the
to do.
music.
Yeah, he knew,
you
he
know what I'm
knew.
saying? Yeah, he was complimenting me in a real genuine way that it just made it effortless to do. So so it was great working with him, you know, but I you know, we grow up, and I find it pleasurable working with, you know, a plethora of producers now. Everybody got their own wave and sound and feel and all that shit. But definitely I miss working with him, and we talk, and things are, you know, hopefully in the works.
Okay, dope.
Yeah. You know, but you know, it's
forward
no
to that.
bad blood though. It's no
Yeah,
bad.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
genuine love. That's my brother. You know what I'm
Just
saying?
life,
But
yeah.
it's just life. Yeah.
Just life. Who
But
started rhyming first between you and your brother, Trigger? Like who?
Me.
Oh, so you put him on. He followed you with the
Yeah,
rap?
well, I mean, you know, not
said
even
me.
put them on. Look, I'm gonna tell you the real story. He'll tell it. Christ will tell it. All
Okay.
of them will tell it. You know, I started writing rhymes, and then I would write rhymes for both of them, right? Like 1 or 2 rhymes, because back then, like, you know, being in other neighborhoods, rapping and shit was the thing. Right after break dancing and shit, and dancing against motherfuckers, it was like rapping and shit, right? So they would always have 1 or 2 ready, right? And so they would get away. They would get away with that shit. They would be saying some shit, and people, oh shit, oh, and that just reinforced they belief that, yo, I can do this shit. And then as they started coming down to the studio and was like, oh, this nigga really doing it, they started taking on a life of their own. They was everywhere else. My brother was everywhere, battling everybody. Everybody called me from everywhere. Oh, yo, Trigger here, Trigger there. Which, you know, I'm like, yeah, I that was him. That's just him. He liked being everywhere, and he liked letting motherfuckers know what's up. So I was like, all right, let's hone it in, and then let's just jump on this album. Come on, let's finish up this album. So the hook start coming, Christ getting on the joints and shit. So yeah, you know, collective effort, but I was definitely the first one.
The first one. Okay.
Yeah.
They followed. Dope. Yeah, Christ definitely did his thing on the album. Like Christ with the hooks, with the bars.
Christ is amazing.
Yeah.
man.
He still is
Yeah.
to this day. Like the new
Christ
stuff I
is
be hearing,
amazing.
it's
Christ
crazy.
is amazing.
Yeah, salute to Christ. What do you miss most about the old BK, and what do you like most about the new Brooklyn?
Good question. I don't know. I think what I miss about the old BK is
Or New York, period. The old New York, BK. Well,
Well, New York in general, right?
yeah.
I don't know. It was an electric vibe in like the, it's crazy because people looking at this younger will say that's what the older cats say in their heyday. Like, yo, this time was the time, blah blah blah, right? But I just felt in like the early not even when I came out, like the 89, 90, 88, then Big Daddy King, 88, 92,
Rakim, all that,
93, yeah, all of that stuff. It was super vibrant. Like the music, everything. It was like from, you got De La Soul in them and Tribe Called Quest in them you just had a variety of artists, and nobody was trying to be somebody. Everybody was their own thing. So for me, it's more the music, which played a big, heavy role in my childhood and just growing up. Like the backdrop to my life was definitely like around that period. And again, it was the music. The music. It was just a variety of creativity and people pushing themselves outside of the box. Now, I mean, what I like now, what I don't like now, it's a lot of.
Go ahead, speak about it.
Well, I mean,
I always say, go ahead.
You gotta balance it, right? I mean, it's based on whatever you listen to, because the shit I'm talking about now, I don't even really see unless I happen to tune into it and see it, right? So you got your ignorant shit. So the ignorant shit, my daughter don't listen to or none of that stuff. You know what I mean? And then you still got that raw, hard feel like back in the days.
Yeah.
They still keeping it relevant. And what's so dope about it is that all the platforms that love that support that. Like the same music that I do, right? And the same music that I'm about. There's a ton of platforms, such as yourself, such as this one,
Definitely,
that relish in that raw or authentic stuff, and I really appreciate it. And it was at one point, looking at hip hop, I was like, nah, shit is like really trash. Like they was praising the rats and snitches. Not that I'm in that life no more, right? But it was just a whole lot of fuckery, just
facts
on all levels. You know what I mean?
Glorifying
Everything
the fuckery.
acceptable. Yeah.
They was glorifying all that
just
shit.
accepting shit that, I know my OGs, and they wouldn't. That shit would never been tolerated. You know what I mean? And we discussed a lot of that shit. So, I was like, man, hip hop is too acceptive of a lot of this dumb shit that's going on. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like early in the days, I definitely felt like I played a part of it, but that's because I was heavily, actively involved in it. So that's all I spoke on, right? But nowadays, hip hop has become a lifestyle, a way of life, right? Lifestyle, and for a lot of people, it's brought a lot of people out of poverty. It's gave tons of people jobs and all kind of shit. But you gotta be responsible. You gotta take responsibility.
Facts.
Of the role you play. You know what I mean? And just it was a certain point in time when I was out of the game where I was like, I don't even want to go back. Like shit just looked too ignorant for me.
Because the balance was going, like you said. I always speak about that, me and Tall Jeans. We missed the balance.
Absolutely.
It's like you said a little while ago, it used to be balanced back in the days.
Indeed.
So you have your street shit. If you want to hear some hard street shit, you could say listen to Mobb Deep or whatever. Then you could go to Tribe Called Quest.
Right.
And they was all around the same time, and they still was getting play and love.
Right.
So it was like we had options, know what I mean?
Right.
Which is cool because we definitely need the street shit. We need a little bit of the ignorant shit. We need a little bit of everything.
Right.
Truthfully,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the stripper
Balance
shit. We
it
need a little
out.
bit. It was
Everything.
balanced back
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
Now the
everything.
balance just went like it's crazy because all the it's like they pushing a certain narrative, a certain element to the forefront.
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
not even
yeah.
trying to give
Yeah,
the whatever.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's the
was-
crazy part.
Yeah, which I felt was real whack.
Yeah.
And, so, that was my opinion and my choice to just kind of like, fade from the back. I never left, but, just viewing hip hop and exercising other areas and, getting strong in other areas of the business, so, yeah, man, yeah. But hip hop fed a lot of people. And to let me sum it up to as far as what I like about the New York. It's saturated, and everybody love hip hop now. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? It's super saturated, and you can't go a day without hip hop. So it's very relevant. It's just a shame that a lot of the artists don't own their shit.
Yeah.
In the networks and shit like that. But yeah.
I saw somebody put up. They said like you have hip hop, like that's the culture, hip hop. But a lot of stuff they putting under the hip hop umbrella is not really hip hop. Just because it got little elements, it's not really hip hop. It's hip hop, and then it's the rap industry.
Right.
Two different things. The rap industry is a lot of fuckery, BS,
Of course.
weirdo shit.
It's the business.
But then, Then it's the business. We get it's about money, but then like it's a difference. Know what I mean? And I be getting upset, and some of my people's like when we go to certain shows and everything. And my homegirl just was telling me about this. I forgot what show she went to, but she said all the seats in the front. You would think they paid top dollar, right? You would think they'd be real hip hop heads, that they're gonna be into it, they're gonna be enjoying the show. She says like they bought out the seats, but it's like they just did it because they had the money to do it. They wasn't even a fan of the music like that, of the artists up there.
Wow.
She said we in the back watching them like they not even, we hyped on everything like that. We know the songs word for word, or you know what I'm saying, the beat comes on. They just like, just because they had the money to afford it, it's like, damn, well, y'all just taking up room. Like, get out, you know what I mean? Let me get that seat, whatever. You're not really a fan of this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I feel you. I
yeah.
mean, look, to each his own. You know what I mean? What could you say?
It's like, look, what can you do? But at least we got artists like you. We got artists like Christ still doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm seeing.
It's a ton of artists that's just in their own wave, doing their own shit.
And they always been here.
They always
Yeah.
been here.
Yeah.
They even more relevant now, which is great. I'm sidelining, but I'm watching.
Do you feel like it's turning, like it's like something that's going on? I was speaking to this my cousin the other day. I was like, I'm not gonna say he is because of him, but a couple of years ago when Nas did that whole run, right? Because he's an old head, whatever like that.
Yeah.
It's like when he did that whole King's Disease and Magic run, and then the shows and everything. Then they did the New York State of Mind tour, and then like I said, it was always artists still doing it from the 90s and early 2000s. But it seems like now something's in the air where, like, you just had the Slick Rick album drop. You had Raekwon recently, Clips and everything.
Right.
So it's like
right.
Redman did Muddy
Right,
Waters too. It's like something's in the air where it's coming back to, like, it was always there, but now it's coming back to I don't want to say mainstream, but it's getting popular again. Like all that prostitute rap and dumb shit.
Yeah,
It was like it was running shit for the longest. Like that was the only thing you see when you put on social media. Now you seeing the old heads, and not even just the old heads. I even just that sound. Period. It got nothing to do with age. I always say you can't put age to quality. Quality music is quality. It got nothing to do with age, because I be seeing dope underground artists that got that sound that's cut from that cloth, and they don't care about being on the billboard. They don't care about being on the radio, whatever. They just making dope ass music, bars and hard beats. Know what I mean?
Right.
So it seemed like there's a shift. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel a shift
nobody
coming.
cares no more. To be brutally honest, like I never really cared about no award, none of that shit, none of that stuff, no accolades. Like I only wanted the respect, and then when it was about money, I wanted the money. You know what I mean? But not to sacrifice the integrity.
The morals in every regard.
Never. You know what I mean? So with that said, you know, you got your seasons. You got your seasons. You know, you got your whole season. You got your dough season. You got your, you know, I'm a woke season, and you know, then you got your ignorant season. You know, some seasons stay around longer than others.
That's a fact.
You know, depending on who you know who break the weather.
Yeah.
But if you search for what you want to hear, you'll get it. That's the beauty of it. You know what I
gotta
mean?
search.
Because absolutely, you know, I've ran across a few things and not even searched. It just happened to come across, and I'm like, oh shit, you know, these motherfuckers is nice. Or this guy's dope. Oh, he still got it. He's still doing it, and he's still like putting the shit out. You know, one thing a lot of people criticize me, they on me, like even my man over here, him too. You know what I'm saying? they be on me, and I respect it. I totally respect it. It's genuine love, and I wouldn't. I'd be a sucker, and they'd be a sucker for like not expressing. You know,
Coming from an honest place.
Yeah, right. They're like, Duke, what you doing, yo? You need to. Which I totally agree, and I'm back to it, right? But in the same breath, like I'm living life, I'm lifing. We you know opened up a few businesses that has been growing since for 5 years now, and continuously growing. You know what I mean? So it's a family business, and it definitely feels good. It feels good.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It feels good. It feels good to be around my kids a lot more. It feels good to be around just family in general. Coming up, I was always gone. Always. You know, I missed a lot of my kids growing up. Very present when I came home and was home, right? But then it's back to the streets again, back door on tour, whatever you're doing. So this time around, I'm fortunate enough to not have to rely on rap. I haven't relied on it in a while, but it has allowed me to do a whole lot of cool, dope shit. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of shit brewing, so
I can't wait to hear it.
yeah. So
I like the fact too it's not about numbers no more. Because remember back in the days, everybody platinum now. I mean, they still talk about the numbers here and there. Oh, Drake passed the Beatles and Michael Jackson. Truthfully, none of them number shit really matters at all no more. Because that streaming shit is bullshit anyway.
Yo, you know,
like,
all that shit is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Nobody
payola
physically
and
copping it.
bots
I don't
and
believe
this
none
and
of
that.
it. Yeah, I don't believe none of it.
You know, that shit is a whole system designed to fuck
Yeah.
the system. Yeah, but so yeah, I never cared about none of that shit. Like,
Facts.
put me on a stage where I fucking. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I heard a joint Son did too. It was dope. I liked it. He used broken language, and I heard everybody using broken language. But I said, so I like what I hear so far. Let me leave people alone. I could start going in. I just do me though. You know what I'm saying? I stay out of the way. Like, you know, you catch it. You don't. But I'm definitely not trying to be nobody. And just do my own shit.
Now, those who know. Like, you go back to even your old stuff, whatever, it doesn't sound dated. Like, the bars, the flows is like, and you've been around some of the greats. Like, we saw you in the videos, like, video music box days, Bobby Simmons. I saw you with, like, what is it, Dead President's video, was it?
Yeah,
Dead President?
Dead
Like, you've been
President.
around legends, underground and mainstream, know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like, what stories do you got, like, being around, like, any, like, stories, like, that nobody ever heard, like?
You know what? I mean, I got a lot of.
What's one? Just give us one, like one that never been spoken about.
No, well, I mean, I briefed y'all real quick, but he ain't no rapper. But with the reggaeton, I was telling y'all, my goddad was Michael Ellis. If you look him up, his name is Michael F. Ellis. And you know, I was young. And he said, you know, I met him in rap form and shit, and he was like, hey, you know, you're going to be my rapper, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. Now, he was large. I ain't going to put his business out there, but he had some buildings, and he had a car lot, and I would go to his building, and kind of watch his son. His son was like 3 or 4 years old. But in the process of watching his son, I would write my raps and shit, right? So I was the rapper on this Spanish reggae's label. And we would go to Don Juan's studio and shit. Shouts to Special Ed. He was a part of this. And everybody else was like Spanish reggae artists. And I remember going to Puerto Rico with them and just witnessing for the first time, like, who this guy was. I knew him as Franco. I'm like, why is this nigga wearing a fucking general suit with stripes and shit on it? Man, he walked out on stage and it was like 20,000 people went berserk and shit, right? So I'm like, oh shit. So I'm in the back, right? I'm like, one of the songs he did, Poom Poom, I'm like, oh shit, I be in like hooky parties off of this record. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm around some dope motherfuckers, right? So, they encouraged me a lot to like stick to the craft, which I did, but then shit went disarray. I got in trouble, blah, 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 blah. But the moral of that story, I just want to drop the jewel, was this man could have put a key in my hand. I was that vulnerable at that age, 13, 14 years old. This man had everything, all kind of cars, all that shit. And I seen everything. But he could have put that in my hand. Instead, he was like, nah, kiddo, you going to do this and you going to be that and you going, which really inspired me to do that and become that, right? I ain't see him till years later. I got in trouble. I almost was locked up for probably the rest of my life. Indirectly, shit happened, and I ended up out and find out all along he was pulling strings and shit, right? So the moral of the story is, if you got influence, do it the right way. It's easy to do that other shit. Like if I was 20 years ago, I'd probably be telling y'all some other whack shit, right? But on some serious shit, like, you got that dude that got potential, you got that dude that want to do something. Encourage that man instead of putting something in his hand that's going to destroy his life. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
You hear that, y'all? You hear that? There's a lot of OGs out there that be doing. They be doing the young people wrong. They be sending them on crash out missions.
I be seeing it.
They be sending them on crash out missions.
Oh,
sad.
Man, I be seeing it.
Why would you want them to crash out if you've been through all this and you see potential? Even if you don't see potential, just to lead them in a different path. Why would you have them go through what you don't want to go through?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think some people just like to see other people's misery or just see if this motherfucker going to make it. I don't know. I don't see the weird shit in that.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Another thing I like to bring up before we get out of here. Well, I got one more question after this. But like I said, a lot of people that's out of state may not know this, may know this. But like I said, in the 90s, your name was getting mentioned. Like I spoke to Tall Genius about this. Tall Genius is from Brownsville and everything. But he said, Smoothe da Hustler name was in the mix of everybody else that you could think of in the 90s when they talk about like the nicest niggas out here.
Yeah.
From Biggie to Jay to Buckshot to whoever, the Nod, the Met Big L. Like, Smoothe da Hustler name was right there. Like I said, it's a few of y'all. I'll be like, damn, they was right there. I remember they albums like Smoothe da Hustler, Royal Flush, Nature, Half a Mil, rest in peace. Know what I mean? Like, dudes was nice, like right there, but it was so much talent at the time where it's like, damn, like the industry, was it
talent
politics?
And politics.
Politics, yeah. Gotta be the
talent
politics.
I mean, we was all young. We was all from the street. Everybody trying to do the exact same thing everybody was trying to do, right? Was get out of the street. Everybody you mentioned back in the days pre-rap, most of them I would see, hang out, rap with, be in APs or area, they be in my area, strap, drugs, living the shit that they was rapping about, wanting to get out of the hustling, but was still hustling. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of that. So everybody was street, and then depending on who your team was, right, and the relationships they had, or the money that they had, kind of dictated, who was gonna fuck with you or not.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I know a lot of drug dealers who turned their money. Their money became clean. They started fucking with record labels. They shit started becoming clean. And then there's click ups. Our shit was organic. My guy right there, what's up, Ra? Rafiq, he one
the
of
Ra,
my
you know what I mean?
everybody that I've been fucking with since day one. Shouts to Lace.
Down, Jay Lee.
Everybody was learning their craft. You know what I mean? And for the impact that we had on the world, man, because I toured, I was around the world like twice. It's fucking amazing because it started like in a basement with a bunch of rappers hanging out, one guy trying to organize everybody, everybody putting their money to press up stickers, and then late nights jumping on a train, going everywhere, spraying up my name, by the train stations and all that shit. It was a lot of like grind, and I'm super grateful for all of that shit. Like, it was a lot of homies, even a lot of the homies that I didn't meet. It was like affiliations. My homies that know people from the Bronx, or and they'll take on that task of putting my shit in the right areas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It was a community for real.
yeah, it was a community of just niggas understanding that this shit can be a lot bigger than what we doing now, which was like just destroying the motherfucking neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that shit turned a lot of my wild motherfuckers into real loyal book bag, a ton of my merchandise in they fucking shit, going to places, trying to hustle my shit, trying to get my shit in record stores and all that shit, who genuinely love to do that shit. Word. And with some of the ruthless nigga, they know with some of the ruthless in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, who just took that and put that shit to the side and say, yo, I'm gonna do this music shit. And wasn't even seeing no money at the time, to begin with. And started seeing money after the work. But you gotta believe in the work first in order to get to the success part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So shouts to all of them, because it was a community for, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel a lot of these artists, new artists, they get success too quick? Because I feel like before, y'all used to have to make like either a banger, street anthem, whether it's underground or mainstream, and a record and everything, an album, a whole album, before y'all could get maybe endorsements or other stuff. It's like now they get a little buzz with no classic record, and before you know it, they doing commercials for clothing. They got access here. It's like you ain't even put in no work, like a body of work. You ain't even put in like a classic. Like what's your claim to fame for real? Like you had a buzz, whatever, on the internet, but it's like before it seemed like you had to put in that work before you could stand next to certain people or be in certain rooms. Now it's like they get in the room just like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the times. You know what I'm saying? That's the times. And it happens. It happens. Some is manufactured, and some, it's about who you know or how much dough. These systems are set up and designed. I mean, it's a business. The radio is a business. I mean, shit is going. We got satellite radio and all that good shit now. So you got a whole gang of shit that you can like skim through if you don't want to hear your local.
The benefits of technology,
shit, right?
Yeah, that's the benefits of it. No doubt.
But to each his own, man. They gotta wear that. What's crazy for me is what about the person? I'm always gigging on the person who come out and gotta be this stereotype, the stereotypical artist for the rest of their artistry. That's the shit that, because if you ain't that, but you gotta be that in front of the camera, you got a fucked up life.
That's
It's
real.
just my opinion. So
real.
yeah.
That's
It's just
real.
my opinion.
I miss back in the days when y'all all sound different. Like, you know when Smooth is rhyming, you know when it's Redman rhyming, like you could hear the voice, like you ain't have to guess. Now you turn on certain stations on satellite radio, be like, yo, this is a different artist. It sound like one long, you know what I mean? It's like y'all had distinct voices, distinct styles, even though it was all boom bap hardcore, but it was distinct, you know what I mean? You could separate, like I miss that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
everybody had their own style. Now you could bite somebody's style, it's okay. Then nobody cares
But
if you
that's
sound
kind
like
of true. It was a moment in time. Absolutely, I seen a whole lot of that. I was like,
Yeah.
wow. But you know, the biggest form of flattery. That's pretty
Yeah.
much the biggest form of flattery. It's just crazy that people don't go, yo, you,
yeah.
yo, I don't want to hear so and so. If I want to hear so and so, I'll go listen to so and so. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying?
Facts.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, people magically come out the woodworks. They drug dealers. They was this. They was that. They was that. Back in the days, though, they'd check you. That's one thing they'd do. They'd be like, hold up, who this? You know, it was crazy because look, you had no Instagram, you had none of that shit, right? So it's word of mouth. So, who this dude, Smoothe da Hustler? They coming through, or wherever it's at. Oh, he in the building. We gonna go test this nigga temperature. We gotta see what's really going on. That's how it was back in the days, and it wouldn't take long for motherfuckers to know you was faking or not. Cause the neighborhood would tell it before you. The neighborhood wouldn't let you get out with that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nowadays and prior, yeah, it was super loose to where they would, they just come out of nowhere, just claim a whole bunch of shit. And it's just fact because they just said it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you got them crazy. You got all that gang shit, that life shit. I respect it, but I ain't in none of that gang shit, right? But then you got that gang culture where they go hard, they go super hard, And I thought I would call my raps reality rap, right? Because I don't live in mansions. I ain't talking about I got a million keys and none of that shit. I'm the average man, right? Just trying to feed his family and shit. So it's no fairy tale. So I always consider myself like, I'll be doing reality rap. Like I try to stay as close to the cloth as possible, right?
Yeah.
But then you got people who just, it's entertainment. So if that's what you're doing, entertaining, that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's where I be getting. That's where my personal and then my business side and shit. Because on one hand, I'm like, making money, get your money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then on the artistry side, it's like, you phony. You wasn't doing that.
They
Like,
gotta be
we
prepared
never
what comes
saw
with
you.
that. Yeah, what comes with that. Like,
Yeah,
like you said,
We
you
never
gotta be
saw
prepared.
you doing none of that shit. Nobody know
believe
you
you.
for none of that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's entertainment. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So,
What's your thoughts on ghostwriting? Do you feel like if somebody has it, because ghostwriting been around forever.
yeah, it been around forever.
But do you feel a person that uses ghostwriters should be like how they put it, like lyricist of the year or top lyricist, and they known for having ghostwriters? Should they even be?
Nah, I don't think they should get
Okay, thank
lyricists
you.
of it. Fuck no.
Or even be in that
Nah,
category,
fuck no.
that conversation?
Fuck no. Hell
Thank
no.
you.
Hold
I
on.
mean-
What we talk about?
Yeah.
Hold on. It specifically said what did writer of the year, lyricist of the year. From what?
Yeah.
From somebody else's pen? Nah. I don't agree with that. But I agree. I absolutely agree with ghostwriting. Probably 90-something% of the music is probably written by. I'm talking about music, period, in the world. probably written by somebody else.
I think
Probably.
hip hop is different.
I'm just saying probably. Oh no, hip
I'm
hop.
biased,
Minus
so yeah,
hip hop.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I
No, I
think-
wasn't even thinking about hip hop when I
Yeah,
said that.
R&B, pop,
I'm
everything
glad
else,
for
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I'm glad you pulled that in. Absolutely.
hip-hop is different.
Hip hop wasn't on my mind when I said that. But definitely for everything else, yeah, it's been like that forever. Hip hop, I wouldn't, I never personally, like considered like, just, oh, yo, come on, let's write some songs together. But it would probably be fucking dope as a motherfucker,
Yeah.
to have a bunch of dope motherfuckers in the room saying, all right, let's just work on this one specific, it may be a cool thing. But nah, not getting awards and none of that shit.
But do you agree that it's different levels of ghostwriting? Like sometimes I hear people say, like this is my take, and tell me if I'm correct, because you know better than I know. You've been in the game forever. I say, like, if somebody writes a hook for you or a chorus, I don't look at that as really ghostwriting like that. They wrote a hook for you or they gave you an idea. My whole thing, because people be trying to flip it. I hate the way they try to flip it. Oh, such and such wrote a hook for such and such, so he got ghostwriter. Such and such wrote. I'm like, nah. Ghostwriting to me is when they sitting down writing bar for bar. They wrote your whole 16.
The whole
Yeah, that's
shebang.
not your thoughts. That's not your lyrics. That's not your bars.
Right.
And guess what? If they do it and you get away with it because you know how to
finesse it
and perform it on stage and everything, cool. But don't be sitting up here cocky acting like you one of the illest rappers of all time when a nigga wrote your 16. Right. I don't care if you gave him the idea and thoughts. He wrote your words. Right. So I don't get I said I don't buy into that where they be like, oh, everybody got ghostwriters because such and such wrote the hook for him, or such and such gave them an idea. Nah, that's not ghostwriting.
Nah. It's definitely not, because some of my work I have just pulled out of the air based on conversations motherfuckers is in the room talking about. Like, oh shit, that sounds good. I'm going, so but look, I wrote some stuff for people, right? And it took nothing away from them. They still who they are. They was who they were before I touched their shit. Right, you know what I'm saying? They still are, and there's some big ones too. They still who they are, and blessings to them, because they very humble. You know what I'm saying? Very humble, and I look up to them guys. It's to each his. I feel personally, if you can hold your own, is cool. If you get somebody else to write some shit for you and they can deliver it better than you can, cool. Am I for it? No. Period. I do my own shit. That's it. I take pleasure in doing shit for other people. I ain't gotta be Smoothe the Hustler. You know what I'm saying? Especially with like girl shit. I love talking shit to a girl from a girl perspective. Because I'm a nigga. I don't talk all kind of shit to a female my whole life, so I know the flip side of that. Right. Yeah. So it's just easy to see a chick talk that shit. Yeah.
No doubt. All right, man. Like, last thing I gotta say is, yo, what's your secret to looking youthful, staying youthful?
Oh, shit, you call me.
Nigga, you don't age. Don't he look like the same damn near from look at the videos back in the days. Like, you don't age. Like, for real. Man. Like, you still look at some of these dudes you be looking like, God damn, they look like they really washed.
I'm gonna tell you the secret. Like, I don't drink, right? To each his own. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I never smoke cigarettes. I don't drink liquor, none of that shit, right? But this ain't no beauty tip. This is just a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I smoke weed. I've been smoking weed for about 30-something years. I'm slowly starting to slow down. Slowly. I'm not quitting, but I'm slowly starting to slow down. And just eating a certain way. You know what I mean? Okay. You want to tune into your body. Yo, men, go to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? I'm big on going to the doctor. I went to the doctor, ended up finding out I had a benign tumor on my kidney. I had to get an adrenalectomy. Yeah, man, you gotta go check your shit out, yo. This ain't no rap shit talking. You know what I'm saying? It's
real life shit.
Man to man, be a man. You got listen, you got people that love you, care about you, and people that you protect, and you know, owe a duty to. Can't do none of that shit if you ain't healthy, right?
Real talk.
So yeah, you gotta stay on your health shit. And shouts to my brother, Trigger the Gambler. He was dealing with some health shit. He getting strong now, so we'll be back at it.
Shout
But
out to Trigger.
yeah, shouts to Trig, and yeah, man, yeah. I just try not to run ragged. You know what I'm saying? Like I think running hard, you'll wear yourself out. And not a lot of fucking. Like I did a lot of fucking when I was 20 and 25 and 30. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of. You gotta save.
slow
it.
down.
Yeah, yo, you gotta save that shit. That shit keep it young,
That ages
yo.
you? All right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you know.
No doubt, man. Thank you for coming up to the show, man.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to the new music with you and Trigger. Like I said,
Oh, yeah.
before the back and forth with Jada Kiss and Styles and Meth and Red, him and his brother was going back and forth, killing it. And I
We
can't
do's
wait to
this.
hear the
We
new
do's
shit.
this.
I
We
can't wait
do's
to hear
this.
the new shit for real. Know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But
I
thank you for
appreciate
coming up, man. I could ask more questions, but I know it's gonna go forever. We're gonna have to do a part 2 in the future.
That's right. Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
You're
Let's catch
a
up.
veteran. You're a seasoned vet. And it's definitely got other questions on my mind, but you know. We're gonna end it right now. I know
Love,
we
man. I
too busy, you know
appreciate
what I mean?
y'all. Absolutely.
Thank you, man. We
absolutely.
appreciate you too.
Salute. Yes,
Thank you,
yes,
everybody.
y'all.
We got a live audience here. You
Yeah,
heard? You know what I mean?
That's right. Salute.
Far
salute.
Rock in Brownsville.
All right, in
the
the
Rich
building.
Genius Show. We in
That's
the building.
Right.
Know what I mean?
Rich Genius. We out of this.
heard?
Peace.
Peace.